everyone, and welcome back. I am still in my little temporary office space. If you did not hear, I lost my house in the LA fires, but I will say it has been absolutely magical, the unfolding of it all. So I will share those pieces as they come along, but I wanted to record today's topic because I mentioned it in episode one, and I wanted to give you guys some more info. So let's dive into it. We are going to talk about the 8 areas of our life that make us balanced and that we can use as a structure to help with this inside out world. Now, I will say, keep in mind that, before I woke up, I did a lot of spiritual things, and those spiritual things sounded really pretty and really magical and mystical and expansive, but none of them gave me a roadmap on how to completely embody the way that source would live, right? We're all creators and we're all creators of this energy. And I did not have any form of structure on how to implement things on a day-to-day basis, because that is the difference between knowing something and embodying something. And for me, I wanted to get to the highest frequency embodiment of how source would live on earth. How do I live as source? Because we all are source, we're all connected, you know. And so for me, it was just, I wanted to figure out this universe and understand the fundamentals of it, understand structures to embody and live as source. So with today's topic, it is a structure that is created to help hone into information, hone into pieces of what's going on in your world and your creation to help you heal and embody and walk through life in a more high conscious way of living. So if you did not listen to episode one, go back and listen to that because it's going to help with today's episode. But we are going to talk about those 8 areas, right? So if we go back to the first episode, we were talking about everything is an inside out world. So everything that's happening outside of us is all because of our electromagnetic field, everything that we do to ourselves. And I mentioned that if it's you're having an issue in one area, a negative issue, let's just say you have it in a relationship of yours, the problem that needs to be solved, which is the imbalance of this, is actually not in your relationship. It will never be in the area you're having a problem with. So if you feel like your partner does not appreciate you, then that just means you're not acknowledging yourself somewhere, but it will never be in the relationship. So you don't have to sit there and try to acknowledge yourself in the relationship, that you're a great partner, that you show up for them, that you do all these things. That won't solve the problem. That relationship is actually mirroring a problem somewhere else in your life, one of the 8 areas. So, relationship, it's going to be one of the other 7 areas. Now, intuitively, you're going to want to look for the area. You're not going to want to just guess. You're going to want to look in intuitively of which of the other 7 is the problem in. Now, it could be the problem is in career. So you're not acknowledging all the things you're doing in career. And that's so depleted and so out of balance that it's now starting to mirror and bounce into your relationship. You heal it over here, it goes away over here. And what I'm talking about now is reflections, the inside out world and how to start to play with them and handle them. That's a whole topic of a whole tool of reflections, but I wanted to give you that example to help you start to play with this. But I want to give you today the 8 areas of that make up your whole world so that you can start to go, okay, I'm having a problem over here. Maybe it's in a different area I need to solve. And then also, these 8 areas, you're going to want to be balanced in at all times. I talk, you see a lot of people with problems. They want changes in their career, so they put all of this effort in career thinking it's going to change something, and it's not, because you probably are overcompensating in that area, and that's not the area that you need to heal or move or put energy into. You actually need to put it into financial because your worth is low, and that's why this isn't moving. So these 8 areas are all interconnected, and most people, if they want to change in a physical area, they put more effort into the area, when really you're going to want to be balanced in all 8 areas. You're going to want to have each area full. Not one is more important than the other. Some people think, oh, my career matters more than my family. Well, guess what? Those are two of the 8 areas, and you're going to want all of those areas full and balanced. You're not going to want to feed one more than the other. So keep that in mind with these areas, that it's a great way to understand, oh, is there an area that I'm not feeding enough of? Because that will help take away some of the reflections also. I remember when I started with this structure, every day I would just test on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I at in financial? And if it was anything lower than a 6, I knew it was starting to get imbalance. And so I would tweak that area a bit to kind of keep that up and balanced. So it's a cool way to also see the balance of all your areas and not overextend in one more than the other, and also to be aware that they all feed one another. And the problem is never in the area that the problem is in. You have a problem in your relationship and you go to couples therapy, it won't fix the problem. And then this is what's sad though, is that you think your partner doesn't care, and they do. They just cannot do anything against your electromagnetic field. So if you want your partner to acknowledge you and you are just not doing it over here, they might be able to force do it for like 2 days, and then they just go right back into what they did before because they are playing out your energy. So this is why I always say, do not leave a situation, any situation, if it's in a negative state, because they are just going to be removed, and the subconscious energy that you are creating will just show up somewhere else. And speaking of subconscious, this is why I absolutely love all of this. How this whole system is built is brilliant, brilliant, is because you have a subconscious mind and you have a conscious mind. And even me, who I am constantly digging into myself and looking at things, it's quite literally, I mean, it's possible. It just takes a long time to dig into your subconscious. It's like finding a needle in a haystack if you're trying to find something in your subconscious. And so this inside out world is actually showing you on display everywhere your subconscious mind being played out. So your subconscious might be saying, I don't acknowledge myself. I don't deserve to be acknowledged. I need to work harder. You're not doing enough. How dare you just take a break, right? That's what's being subconsciously played out. And your partner plays it out for you. The negative is going to show you that subconscious program that's running. And that's why, if you listen to my last episode about challenges, why I welcome challenge and why I know it's actually giving me the answer I've been looking for. If I'm trying to create something in my life and build a manifestation in my life, right? Like a career that I want, or a relationship, or even just peace and contentment in my body, the only way to do that is to remove the subconscious things that are in the way to align you to that life. And then you're in it. Oh, that's my dog. That's Gavin. If you don't know Gavin, he's back there. Um, so he's agreeing to this conversation. But subconscious, right? So these are all being played out. And that is your subconscious mind. So if you're wanting these outcomes in life, use the negative experiences to realize that that is your subconscious playing out. You heal your subconscious, you heal your world. And this is where my life completely changed. Again, the first episode, my first aha moment was Inside Out World. Holy cow. I have I have the power to change all of this. And not power in an ego way, power in the sense of, oh, I know my ability to change and alter my universe. And I am a creator. I am this source energy light that can change things. But I'm going to have to use the things that drive me insane to find those answers. So again, if something's happening negative in an area, it's your subconscious mind being played out. It's our job to go, where am I doing that to myself? Where is that causing me pain? Where is the imbalance in my life that's showing up here in my relationship, or showing up in my career, or showing up in financial? it's going to be in a different area. So I wanted to give you these areas so you can start playing with them and start realizing if there is an area in your life right now, and I want you to all to think of the area that's bothering you right now. That's not the area that you're going to want to heal. It's going to be in a different area, and you won't know what it is because it's so tucked away in your subconscious that until you hit it intuitively on the head, then you go, oh, yeah, duh. Oh my God. And you heal it, it disappears over here. It's magic. It's quite literally the most magical universal trick that I know. If you want real magic, it's in this. Trust me. You know, I've gotten so good at this that something is happening in front of me and I'm sitting there trying to figure out where is this happening? How do I feel? And then I flip some of them. Some of them, are too complicated to flip in the moment, but I do on some of them. And then instantly it changes right there. And I'm like, holy cow, it's pretty cool. So let's get into those 8 areas. Number 1, mental. Mental is going to be criticism to self, needing more knowledge, overthinking, anything to do with mental in general, it will fall under that category. So that is one area. So mental. The second area is physical. So physical is going to have a few subcategories. It's going to have diet, exercise, your 5 sensory system, um, how you spend your day to day, how you spend your, time, your body, what it does, actions, and self-image can fall under that. So if you pick up intuitively that it's in physical, you'll then are going to want to look which of the sub areas would it be in, and then you can hone in on, ooh, that's the thing I need to tweak. So number 3, spiritual. Spiritual is going to be like spiritual knowledge. So listening to this right now is boosting that area right now. Spiritual tools, again, listening to this is boosting that area right now. Now, spiritual, keep in mind, doesn't mean you have to believe in what I'm saying. Whatever your bigger picture point of view, that is going to be under spiritual. Now, if you are limited in that area, this area could be low, right? If you don't believe in a bigger picture, a bigger something bigger than you, then that area could be out of balance. Another thing that could fall under there is what I call dark forces, absence of light. A lot of people with mental illness are dealing with this, and if you are dealing with a absence of light or dark force energy, it would be under spiritual. So put that under there. The fourth area, it would be family. Family would be your blood family, obviously, your soul family. And soul family is going to come in all shapes and sizes. It could be mentors, it could be friends, it can be somebody who you just connect with that you see every single day on the street. Soul family comes in all shapes and sizes. Soul family, we all show up in each other's lives over and over and over again. We just show up in different forms. Also pets and kids. And once you get married, your partner moves into family. If you're not married, it's going to go into the fifth area, which the fifth area would be social. So social is going to be dating, friends, and how the world perceives you. If you feel like the world is, you feel imbalanced in that area, it's going to show up under social. The sixth area is passion hobby. This one always like blew my mind that this was an area of its own. Talk about how depleted I was in this area because I was like, oh, that's not important. But it's highly important that it's one of the 8 areas. We have to have something that we do just for ourselves that fills us up, that doesn't make us money, that doesn't, give to our family and friends, that is just for us, that fuels us, that resets us. It's a way to reset the brain, to get creative, all of that. What I will say to keep in mind that clients always bring up like, oh, yeah, I go for a hike. Hikes, stuff like that does not count as a passion hobby. Oh, noise. Um, that's my higher self saying, yes, it doesn't count. But no, passion hobby has to be a skill that you master with your physical body. So you have to do something and get better at it. So a hike, you really can't get better. I mean, you could get better at the trees on the hike if you want to learn about trees, then that would be a passion hobby. But actually hiking, unless you are really measuring how far you're going, how quickly you can do it, it's not a passion hobby. So you're going to want to think of stuff like sports, arts. I do archery. That's, anything that you get better at. Number 7, which one have I not talked about? Financial, everyone's favorite. Financial. If financial is going to be financial skills, financial knowledge, and your worth actually falls under financial. So if you are low in your own worth, financial is going to dip. Again, though, if you're having a problem in financial, that doesn't mean that that's where the problem is. It's going to be somewhere else. But under financial, worth. And the last area, vocation, career, soul pole, the thing we're here and we're meant to do. Under that, the subcategories would be spending enough time on it, soul pole, being connected to knowing that you have something to offer this world. So those are all the 8 areas, and some of them have a few more subcategories than others. That's just mainly because, there's different pieces that can fall under that. And honestly, if you found more pieces, you can kind of add it in there so that when your intuition goes, oh, physical, and, if there's another little piece that helps you pick up, under physical, you can kind of tweak it. But this is the structure of your entire world. And if one thing is out of balance, it's going to show up in one of the other areas. And this is how you get very precise information. Because look, again, I use 8 different intuitions. I use it all day long. And if I say to my higher self, like, okay, this is happening over here, where is it happening? And there is no structure, that's a lot of information that my intuition has to weed through. Like, it being too broad will take way too long. But if I go, okay, intuitive self, happening over here, I'm not acknowledging myself over here. Where if the 8 areas am I not acknowledging myself? Physical, it goes right into the area, right? Like I can pick up an area and then tweak it. The structure is what creates you to be able to dial in your intuition. And again, this is where you want to be balanced in your life. And these are all the areas you should be balanced and you're going to want to be balanced in. So play with these with not overcompensating in areas, getting comfortable with knowing that your universe, your world can be in balance at all times. I remember when I was younger, I definitely fed more areas than others. Passion hobby was like a non-existent in my life. So I lacked a lot of passion in life. And now it's what fuels my life. I know it's an area. So just knowing the areas can help you understand what to start to play with and what's important and knowing that they're all important. And then when you're starting to play with this inside out world, knowing that one area is showing you a different area and the different area is the one that needs to be solved, then you can actually see change in your life. You can actually feel like you're in your power and in your center. And that for me was a game changer. And this is where you can start to unlock your value in this world so much more because it's just coded everywhere and you just have to read it and understand it, decode it, solve it, and then you're unlocking your universe and unlocking your entire life.